Welcome back to Big Red Wrap Up. We are, of course, inside Memorial Stadium. When you come next into Memorial Stadium, you will have brand new concessions, including what many people are excited about is the street corn and, of course, the beer as well. But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk to the offensive coordinator for the University of Nebraska in his first full year, Dana Holgorsen. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What's the feeling now? What's the emotion for you? This is actually going to run 2 days before the game starts. So what's the emotion for you at that point?
Just game day. The camp was challenging. This was just so proud of our kids and the structure of what Coach Rhule has in place here and this wonderful facility that we're able to take advantage of in camp when you're not restricted on the time. And I mean, I think the kids got here at like 6 o'clock and would leave at like 9 o'clock and just didn't leave. I mean, they're here the whole time. If they have a couple hours, they just go down there and get some recovery. So. A lot of meetings, a lot of practice, a lot of good work. You get to a point where you got to stop that. The NCAA rules tell you got to stop that. You get on a 20-hour week, and that's what we got into. Towards the beginning of last week, and it's just been fun to flip that switch. You put all that work in right there to get yourself to be able to be successful in games and win football games, and our team has done that, and so we've had a good week of preparation for Cincinnati, and now it's just ready to get to game day and see what we got.
You've had so many of these preseasons, of course, as a head coach. Going back to being a coordinator and that field, what's the biggest difference for you as a coordinator during preseason camp?
Well, not having to worry about all the logistics, certainly. Matt Rhule is one of the most structured, organized guys that I've been around, and so that was cool. Being a head coach, especially in today's day and time. I mean, most head coaches are CEO types, like Coach Rhule is. I mean, he's an excellent football coach, but so much of his time is CEO type stuff, and that's what my role turned into. My last 2 years at West Virginia, I kind of went to the CEO stuff. I went back to being the play caller for about 3 years, and then with the landscape of college football today. You get pulled in so many different directions. I went back to CEO at Houston. Evidently, it didn't work out very good for me. So I think I'm better in the coach role, in the calling plays role. And it's just what I enjoy. It's what I've done forever. And it's been very enjoyable to work with the players and coach them, teach them, put game plans together. I've really enjoyed that and looking forward to being on the sidelines calling plays game one against Cincinnati.
It's such a long season and even long off season. You kind of have July to get out. How important was it for you to go out and do some other things so you'd have your batteries recharged for the season?
Yeah, I talked to Coach about that when I accepted the job, and part of, my role is not being an off-field recruiter, off-campus recruiter, just because the rules have changed. And so now we got guys that are full-time off the field, on the road recruiters, And so May gave me an opportunity to, just kind of get my thoughts together as far as what, post-spring, what we needed to work on, what we needed to do. But then I took some free time too, and was able to get away. And, I'm an empty nester with my family. Everybody's in Houston. And so was down there a good bit, spending time with them. And then July, like you mentioned, all coaches get away and go do things, and so, took some cool trips and just, really enjoyed life, recharging the battery, so to speak. And when we came back, August 1st, it was go time and was refreshed and needed every bit of it because that 4 weeks was a grind.
I've heard you talk a lot about taking over play calling last year and how it was one of the hardest things you've had to do in football. First, what was the hardest part about that? And was there a point during those 4 games and then the bowl game where you said to yourself, I want to keep doing this here at Nebraska?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a handshake agreement in the beginning. I came here on the bye week before Southern Cal, and just kind of, I didn't know if I could do it, because it was a totally different playbook, and it's like you don't speak another language and then you try to learn Japanese in a week. It's very, it was very challenging. But after about 3-4 days of it and watching practice and talking with Dylan, the communication with it, the technology with the button being able to talk to him was very useful. So I was just reading it off the paper. I didn't really know what it was, but I knew what it was based on where it was on my sheet.
Right.
And so, just really enjoyed it. Dylan's a whole lot of fun to work with. I think we have really good coaches here on the offensive side, and so that was challenging at first to kind of figure out what it was going to be like. But then once we settled in I gained their trust, so to speak. And did that for 3 games and had a lot of fun. And just the Iowa game was hard, and so that left a bad taste in my mouth. And so coach was like, just help me try to fix this thing. And so I was like, yeah, I think I want to do it. And so we signed on, agreed upon it, and then just hit the ground running. First part of January, all the coaches were out on the road recruiting for a month, basically, and so I was here by myself for about 2 weeks. We started bringing in some portal kids and stuff, and so I'd spend some time with them when they were on campus, but the majority of the time I was just watching every cut up, every formation, every motion, every play, and I learned it, and so, because that's what coach said. He goes, how much you gonna change? Because if you're gonna change, we kind of need to do it, the earlier we do it, the better. I was like, that's not fair to our staff. That's not fair to Dylan. That's not fair to all these older kids that have been in this offense for 3 years, and so I go, look, I've already done it, so let's just roll with it, Now, I've obviously put my spin on it, and I've stuff that made sense. I'm doing more and more of that, but from a terminology perspective, that didn't change, and I think the whole offense really appreciated that.
There's a phrase here in Nebraska, because of the way Nebraska was, run the damn ball. I know a lot of people are interested. Do you have kind of an idea of like a percentage of run to pass you want to get to at the end of the season? Or how do you handle that?
I always structure it game plan-wise at 50-50. From a practice perspective, from a game plan perspective, it's always going to be 50-50. I got kicked out of the air raid club 10, 12 years ago. I changed my offensive philosophy quite a while ago, and we led the Big 12 in rushing a couple years, So we're going to run the damn ball, okay? And now throughout the course of a game, it's always the feel. What's working, let's stick with it. What's not working, let's change it. That's my philosophy, whether it's run the ball, pass the ball, whether it's tempos. I mix up tempos and stuff based on what's good, what's bad. All about, it's just a chess match with the defense. And I don't have a set, like, we need to run the ball 66% of the time, we need to throw the ball 66% of the time. I game plan at 50-50 and then just feel how the game's going.
You mentioned that you probably need 4 running backs in this era of football. Do you feel like you have 4 guys that can go out to get the job done?
Yeah, it ain't just this era of football. That's the way football's always been.
Yeah.
Those backs, you ask so much of them from a physicality perspective. Running the ball, pass protecting, running routes. All that stuff, those guys get tired. Those guys get beat up.
Yeah.
I do think we got 4 now. I was concerned with it coming in the camp. Feel really good about Emmett. I felt good about Ives, but then he got hurt practice 1, but that allowed the younger kids to be able to get a whole bunch of reps. And so, Mackay and Ike and Condor, those guys all, had a good camp, and I feel good about putting them out there. The one thing you just don't know is when it's game time and there's 70,000 people in there, how are they going to react? I have not seen those guys in that situation, so I'm curious to be able to see how they handle that.
One of the other things you said you were concerned about in the last season was the offensive line. Went out and got some more experience with some portal guys. Do you feel comfortable going into the season with the 8 to 10 guys that you have that are in that 2 deep?
Yeah, the older guys that we didn't have in the spring. We didn't have Teddy, we didn't have Turner, we didn't have Henry. We didn't have Gunner, and so we didn't have any of those guys,
Right.
And we didn't have Rocco because he wasn't here yet, and Pritchett was new, but just those guys. What I see with those guys is a bunch of older guys that is bringing experience, and they're kind of playing together as one right now. So I feel really good about the camp that those guys have had. I feel good about the depth and the backups and keep bringing those guys along. Got a lot of young kids, got a lot of numbers. We're able to run, 3 groups all through camp. I've never been able to do that. We maintained health, but we have bodies and numbers and guys that know what to do. I think Don, Coach Raiola is really doing a good job with that group. The cohesive nature of that with O-line needs to exist, and I do think it exists now.
With wide receivers, obviously Hunter and Key and even Barney have done it at a Power 4 level, and then behind that, it's a lot of inexperience. How do you feel about the depth there with your 4th, 5th guys, 6 guys on the wide receiver crew?
The same thing as the running back room. And the older guys I know what those 3 can do. When those lights come on, it ain't gonna bother them. Those guys, they're gonna elevate.
Yeah.
Once we kick the thing off Thursday night. So. It's the young guys. It's Keelan Smith. It's Cortez Mills. It's Quinn Clark. It's Jeremiah Jones. It's guys like that you don't know yet.
Sure.
They've had good camps. They're young. They're going to continue to get better. Looking forward to see who raises the their play once game day hits. The other, Wood, Bonner.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
do everything guy.
He's a do everything guy. So he's in the same category as those other three guys. We can put all four of those guys out there in 10 personnel and be able to move the ball. So I feel good about the old guys, and I just think that their experience is going to rub off on those younger guys.
In the first couple of questions, you referenced Coach Rhule's infrastructure. What about that made it even easier to come on and take this job?
Yeah, I've done it my way for 13 years, and was really kind of with the same people, prior to that for a long, long time. The Hal Mumme, Mike Leach, people of the world, and it's just interesting to be able to see it from a defensive perspective, defensive-minded head coach. I've always been with offensive-minded head coaches, and now from a defensive head coach perspective, it's been good to just sit back and watch how that takes place. Plus the advantage of being at Nebraska with all the resources that we have here, all the staffing, just gives you so many advantages. If kids don't take advantage of the infrastructure, the staffing, the resources from food and nutrition, training staff, all of it, then shame on them, because they got everything they need to be able to get better every single day. So it just makes my job a lot easier from just coaching ball, just watching a lot of video and trying to organize it and try to put the best product that we can out there.
There was one thing that you wanted Dylan to improve on in the offseason going into this 2025. What would it be? What was it?
Well, the maturity aspect of it was naturally going to happen year two. Year one, what he did from a first year in college perspective was remarkable. There's not many true freshmen that can do what he did, and so then that natural transition of going into year two, being more comfortable with everything, I see it happening on a day-to-day basis. I knew that was going to take place. He needed to work on his body and his mobility. We're not going to do a whole bunch of run game stuff with him, but I don't worry about Dylan in the pocket because he's a big kid that can bounce off people in there, but he needs to get out of the pocket, extend plays, and keep himself safe. If he's getting chased down and doesn't see people and takes hits and stuff like that, that's not putting him in a good place. So he's worked on his mobility. Does a lot more scrambling, extending plays, and then he's excited about tucking that thing and trying to get what he can get and get down or get out of bounds. So I think just the mobility aspect of it is going to be able to help us offensively.
One last question, because I have to ask about Mike Leach. When we covered the Big 12, love listening to his press conference and talking to him on the phone. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to get him into the Hall of Fame. Obviously that rule for having to win a certain percentage of games, but how important do you think what his impact's been on college football, him being in the College Football Hall of Fame?
Well, what is it, a half a percentage or something like that? I don't think there should be a percentage. There's guys that have won 50% of their games that have impacted the game, and if you look at Mike Leach, I don't know who else would be named that has impacted the game on every level. It's high school, it's college, it's the NFL, to where he just had such a unique way about himself that rubbed off on a lot of people. I was fortunate to be able to be with him for 33 years.
Yeah, wow.
It was hard on me 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, when that happened to him. He just loved the game so much, and he poured everything into it. He got pneumonia and he wouldn't sit. He wouldn't sit down. He just kept going and going and going. He was in Houston getting tests done, and about 2 days before he passed. That whole week he was in Houston getting tests done, and had to go back home to have practice because he was getting Mississippi State ready for a bowl game. One thing with pneumonia is it affects the heart, and so the only way to beat pneumonia is if you sit down and rest. And he wouldn't do it because he had a job to do. He had football. I think that's a lesson for a lot of coaches that need to understand that your health is more important than the game, and so I learned a lesson from that. That's why I wanted to take that time off after I got let go at Houston. I didn't come here initially because I needed time. And I think that's a good lesson for everybody. But Mike Leach impacted this game in a way nobody else has, from the passing game perspective, and he most definitely should be in that Hall of Fame.
I really appreciate you telling us that story. Coach, thank you very much, and good luck this season.
I appreciate it. Go Big Red.